What's good, folks? It's Nightmare Frame here with a new Warframe video coming at you with a reworked Trinity. We're gonna go over her abilities and see what she does now, because she got a little tweak that makes her so much better to use, and she has become one of the most comfortable Warframes in the game. This was filmed live on Twitch. Do come on over if you want to see some behind the scenes footage of how we make these builds or some nice variety streams. Trinity's new passive grants allies bonus health based off Trinity's max energy. That means your total energy and not your current energy. So that means slap on Prime Flow and you give allies more health. Simple as that. The new Well of Life takes up to 3 enemies as life siphon hostages. If allies damage these enemies, they can heal themselves. Any ally within this area will get status immunity. You can see the aura right there. And these also prevent deaths for allies. Meaning if your ally dies within the aura, it prevents them from going down. And one of the targets dies instead. And after that, the death prevention goes on a 60-second cooldown. The new Energy Vampire got a quality of life update where you don't have to wait for the pulses to end. You can just recast it on another target. So now we have the option of recasting it whenever we want. So you don't necessarily have to go negative duration. But if you still want to go negative duration for faster pulses, you can. And yes, it still does true damage. So if you prime them with viral and you have a lot of strength, you're going to deal a lot of damage to them. You unfortunately cannot recast it on the same target. You have to wait for all the pulses to end before you can recast it. The new buff to Link is that it has better duration, can target more enemies, and now it is also recastable. And if you mod your Trinity with more strength, you get increased targets tethered. And if you have the augment Master Abating Link, it gives you armor strip. And the best thing about Link is that it gives you status immunity and redirects all the damage dealt to you back to the attackers. And the other great thing is that it doesn't need line of sight. So as long as you have these tethered to enemies, you have a free Prime Sure-Footed. Because remember, spending less time on your butt is a huge DPS increase. And finally, Blessing. All that changed with Blessing is that it got an increase to its duration from 10 to 15. Otherwise, it still does the same thing where it replenishes your shields and health while also giving you damage reduction. It caps out at 75% damage reduction at 150% strength. And now that you know what changed with Trinity, let's go over the build. And for the Helminth, I decided to go something simple, brain dead, because she already can armor strip, she survives really good. If you want to increase her damage, you can put Roar, Nourish, whatever. But I decided to go something brain dead and simple and slapped on Elemental Ward to buff her shield pool, because she is the shield queen. With the electric Elemental Ward, you get a boost to your shield pool, and you also do a little tickle damage with electricity. And to use the electric Elemental Ward, just make sure you put a blue emissive color. That's about it. So let me demonstrate how this looks like. We're gonna bring up some Xmas units right here. Okay. Cast my 3, cast my 4, and I can just sit back. If I want energy, I cast it on a target, and I'm pretty much tanking all these Xmas units. Literally easy game. And now that I want an increase to my shields, I can press my Elemental Ward. Another helmet that you could use is Omamori, which is from Kopme. This grants you charms that surround your character that will heal you when you take damage. You have a 50% chance to block the damage and heals you instead. The amount of charges is RNG. And unlike Kopme, she cannot get the bonus dice roll, so you just have to get lucky regardless. And the ability cannot be recast until you reach 5 charges. So let's demonstrate this. We go up against enemies, we have our Link, Blessing, and Kopme's ability. And this is all the damage redirection that we're dealing. I didn't do anything here. They just killed themselves. Sorry, they just loved themselves. And that's the power of damage redirection. For my Archon Shards, I went with 2 casting speed shards. This is mandatory. You cannot play Trinity without casting speed shards. She feels way too slow casting her Blessing. And then the rest of the red shards, surprisingly, are not strength, but I went with duration just to increase how long my buffs last. All right, now that you've seen what she's capable of, let's take a look at the build because believe it or not, it is so simple. In the aura, I have Combat Discipline. When you kill enemies, you lose health. Remember, Trinity can heal herself. But why are we using this aura? Well, it's all just to trigger Arcane Avenger. And plus, we're also taking damage from other sources, so we have a large uptime on Arcane Avenger. This gives us a 45% crit chance bonus, flat crit chance on all our weapons. And because she doesn't need the best mod in the game, because of Link, we went with Power Drift for some strength just to balance it out. I have a total of 214 strength thanks to Power Drift and Blind Rage. She doesn't have to worry about efficiency because she can regenerate energy thanks to Energy Vampire. Prime Flow for the large energy pool because we are running negative efficiency, and on top of that, it buffs anyone within Affinity radius with bonus HP. And then all I decided to do was stack a bit more duration and survivability with Primed Redirection to increase my shield pool, Adaptation for some damage reduction, along with her abating Link Augment just for the armor strip. So if you want to armor strip enemies that are in front of you, you can just recast it. Otherwise, this is pretty much all she needs. Just have some duration, one range mod because her base range is insanely good. And plus, the fourth ability doesn't need range mods because it is affected by Affinity Radius. So the only thing that needs range is pretty much Link and Energy Vampire. And the last arcane is Arcane Aegis, just for some additional shield regen if I don't want to recast Blessing because I already have a large duration on it. And now going over my weapons. I am using the Phantasma Prime here. Usually this weapon does not have great crit, but as you saw, we were critting with this weapon just now. And when we take a look at that build, no faction mods, just a simple viral and electric build. And I'm pairing this viral electric build with Primary Crux. On weak point hit, gain 30% status chance and ammo efficiency. This stacks up to 10 times. So to demonstrate this, once again, I fell. I'm just aiming right there without even targeting enemies properly, and I'm stacking up Crux. You can see we have 10 stacks, easily maintaining those 10 stacks. And we're getting that ammo efficiency and status chance. But of course, you want to be aiming heads if you're fighting an elite enemy unit like an Exodus, because of the headshot damage multiplier. And for my Sentinel, we don't need to run Worm Prime because we're already status immune. I decided to go for the Naughty List Prime. The Naughty List is just here for Cordon. The build is simple. We have Cordon, Assault Mode, Duplex Bond, and Shield Charger. This is primarily used with other Warframes, but you don't necessarily need this. And Reinforced Bond for additional fire rate. And of course, Manifold Bond to reduce the cooldown of my precepts. And for the weapon, I'm using the Tazakor. This just is here to prime enemies with viral, electricity, and radiation. DE! Where's my Acolyte? Oh yeah, so yeah, the Acolyte just gonna kill themselves right now. Yeah, that's what the Acolyte does. Anyway, folks, that has been it for me. I do hope you enjoyed and learned something from this video. And if you did, please feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe for more Warframe content, streams, and so much more. Do refer to the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, a peace. Bye-bye now.